Hello, Pisces. Hope you all are well. This is the Healing Grasshopper here to do your April 2024 reading. So, you've got a really great reading here, Pisces. You guys are doing well. So, you have these are tea leaves, you have the star, guaranteed success, quill, get back to basics, wedge, someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. In your case, I don't think this is a friend. This is whatever you're working on. Whale is great worry over nothing. Beetle is good fortune. So let's see what tarot gives us. So right off the bat, this is Spirit saying that you have been working on something or there's something brewing in your head um, that either you're working on or you're about to implement. You're you're about to start working on. So good grief. All right, let's see what we're starting with here. Oops, I didn't mean to have the moon here. I was using this card to adjust the lighting before. Is this our center card? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Justice. Okay. So Pisces, I talk a lot about taking out the garbage and assessing your friendships and making sure that you rid yourself of things in your life that don't serve you, especially relationships. Are we keeping these? Okay, these were supposed to be there. Okay, so the great worry over nothing is kind of like Spirit is warning you to be mindful of your friend circle and people in your life. But, it's not that big of a deal. Great worry over nothing. Like, don't stress about it. They're just giving you a heads up. Um, because you've got good fortune here. And the beetle, to me, I think about a dung beetle. Um, that was one of my favorite documentaries when I was younger. They had this, like PBS documentary on the dung beetle. Every time it was on, I watched it. I watched it so many times with the dung beetle that makes these balls out of dung, like cow dung or whatever. And, it's, you see this little beetle rolling this huge, it looks like a huge boulder compared to the beetle. And, he rolls it along and brings it into his lair and everything. And he's very, strong and determined and, anyway, that's you like really working diligently and really believing in whatever it is that you're doing and you deriving good fortune from it. So spirit wants you to make sure that you protect your goals and your interests and um not to be don't tell people about your plans, you know. And there have been some other readings where I've talked about this, where you need to keep your plans in its infancy to yourself. If not, just to make sure that you're not bringing anyone else's energy into what you're manifesting. It doesn't necessarily need to be like someone who's actively plotting against you, but then, there are people who will actively plot against you, who, um, not necessarily always in the diabolical sense, but people who just don't wish you well, and will do whatever it is in their power to, like, if they see an opportunity to throw a wrench into your plans, they will. They're not going to be there, cheering you on, and they may pretend to cheer you on in your face, but they don't wish you well. You know what I'm talking about. Um, and you may not always know who these people are. Some of you are like, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Other people, you'd be very surprised at who spirit is actually talking about that you don't see, you know. For some people, it can be their own siblings, their own parents, the closest people to them in their lives who secretly don't wish them well, you know. So it's important for you to keep things to yourself in its infancy. So justice says that you are protected. Spirit is protecting you. And part of that protection is giving you the heads up in this reading. Um, and also, I wonder if judgment's going to show up, or maybe some aces where, spirit will be giving you downloads. Whoa, that was a flyer. There there you go. High Priestess. What did I say about spirit giving you downloads? Um, especially for those people that I was talking about that you wouldn't suspect don't wish you well. You know, as this idea of yours progresses, you're going to start to notice some things. Like, you know, it could be as subtle as you being at the dinner table and you talking about something and you catch someone rolling their eyes or something. That kind of thing. Like, wait a minute, did I not just see them roll their eyes when I was talking about something I was excited about? You know? Like, hmm, take note of those things. And spirit is going to make sure that you see those things. That the tiniest, teeniest little signs you're going to notice. And that won't be by accident. Okay? So here we have the Three of Cups, which is talking about a victory. Um, and the Hierophant, that's talking about how you are viewed by spirit in your actions and your approach to your business and to life in general, where you do things methodically, you do things by the book, you are you're a very moral person, a fair person, which is why you have the Three of Cups here and the Hierophant and Justice flanking it, right? You are protected and things are going in your favor because you are filled with virtue. You're a good person. And that's why good people tend to trust the people in their lives a little too much because they expect others to be as virtuous as them, you know? So that happened to me in my life where I had so much love for some people in my life that I always assumed that they meant well for me. But behind my back, they were, Some of them talking behind my back and sabotaging me, and other people literally stealing from me. So, you know, this is a heads up that you're going to enter this type of situation where you're going to go through a life lesson where, life is not always about kumbaya, and that you're in a turning point in your life, Two of Swords, where you are going to start to need to make some very hard choices about not only the direction in your life, but who you bring with you, right? Because the next card is Six of Cups, which talks about your relationships, your loving relationships, the relationships that I was just talking about, where, you love them very much and you have this certain view of your relationship with them, which you shouldn't feel ashamed about at all. You should never be ashamed about loving a person, no matter what happens. But the love that you have for them isn't enough to carry the entire relationship, right? So here is the Page of Cups. You really examining that and you really taking a moment to listen to what your heart and your intuition is telling you about your relationships. Eight of Pentacles. Here you are working on your goal. You working diligently and honestly and earnestly, you know? And then here you are with this relationship in the center, which is talking about this relationship that you need to be cautious about that may be in the way, may get in the way of your work, which, by the way, here you are with this wedge in the middle in the same line. You see the connections here? So be careful of these friendships. You are protected, though. But I mean, don't leave it all up to the universe. You have to do some of the work yourself and not allow, to let mice run through your pantry and that kind of thing. You gotta actively expel them as you discover them. Four of Swords is you taking a moment. And High Priestess, to listen to your intuition. This is kind of like I heard, work hard, rest and meditate hard. The meditation and the quiet time is really going. Also, when I was talking about the dinner table and seeing someone roll their eyes, you need to do more than just observe it, but don't ignore it, stuff it down, and go about your business. You really have to assess what you saw and really process it. Because that's the kind of thing when you see red flags and then, like a tower moment happens. And then in retrospect, you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember that person was rolling their eyes at the dinner table. And I saw them whispering to someone else when I entered the room and they stopped talking. But I ignored it and I didn't, really. And now all those things add up and this tower moment happened. And oh, now I see, you know? So, but this is talking about in the moment. Don't let that eye rolling go. Don't keep going. You've got to stop and assess that in the moment. And that doesn't mean that there has to be a big blow up confrontation or whatever, but it's a tool for you to make a decision, Two of Wands, right? Because the earlier you make these decisions, the less damage can be incurred. Because in the tower moments, that's when the big damage has been made, that you allow things to, you know, fester and bleed. So stop the bleeding, right? You need at least one more card. What do you got, Spirit? What do we got, Spirit? At least one more. Well, the world. Pisces, beautiful. Okay. You have your outcome here, the world. The world is a portal. The world is your oyster. There's a cliche that applies here. You're going to have it all. You're going to have wish fulfillment here and an opportunity for a new life, a new era. But you're going to have to cut some people loose. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. You hear me say that often. And, you know, not to repeat myself, but this is what Spirit is warning everyone about. And on top of that, it's what the astrology talks about for this year. That's another thing that you're going to hear often, almost every reading, to remind people who have not seen their yearly readings, go have a look. I'll put a link in the description below um, that is very enlightening. But don't be overwhelmed by all the astrological information, because every month I'm going to go over it again for each month. And so it's easier to digest. And we're going to do that right now, actually. Let's do this month's. There's not a whole lot going on for April. There's just a solar eclipse that we're going to talk about. But have a look at it anyway, because it's very, very interesting. It talks about what has been going on for the past 15 years, which will be very enlightening, because we've all been struggling in some capacity for a number of years. And, you know, have been walking around with these question marks on our heads, like, why is life so difficult? Why has life been so difficult lately? And there is an astrological explanation for that. So I put that in there. And then um, there is talk of the portal that we're all going through, you know? And the way I look at it, it's like we've arrived in our journeys to like Grand Central Station, like a very big, um, train station or airport or something, and everyone has this free ticket to go somewhere. And we can't take all of our baggage with us. Some of that baggage we're going to have to cut loose that don't serve us. So, and everyone is going through a portal. We're all doing our thing, and we have this opportunity for really great success. The astrological energy is so beautiful. So, and we have this opportunity to cut loose this ugliness we have in our life. Gratitude. I know I am filled with gratitude, especially for the past few months. It hasn't all been easy, but it's like, oh, thank you, God, that the energy is lighter than it's been in the past 15 years for me. Anywho, The April astrology is solar eclipse in Aries. And my notes are might inspire you to make a change in a home and no, I'm so sorry, Pisces. These are the wrong notes. I have the wrong sign up. Forgive me. Solar eclipse in Aries in the second house of money, belongings, and routines, which will be a time where the pursuit of your goals will be supported. Okay? You see how the astrology, and I know a lot of you, because some of you in the comments were like, and I love your comments, so please do. And I respond to everyone. Um, talk about how they find the astrology overwhelming and, they, they'd rather just stick to tarot, but which I totally understand because it's overwhelming for me too. But I do bring the most important parts so that you can take advantage of the energies, right? Knowing what the astrology is like a weather forecast, you know? If you know that it's going to rain, you take your umbrella with you, that kind of thing. So, anyway, Pisces, fantastic. What else do we have here? Um, tarot, tarot clarification spirit? Yes. The whole tableau here? Yes. Okay. Let's see what we got. What do you got, Spirit? Pisces, this is a really good reading you have here. Of course, like I said, I want you to keep your ideas to yourself, so you don't have to put that in the comments, but you know, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to hear about. If you know who is creating the wedge, I'd love to hear about that too. Look at the Emperor. Here the Emperor goes over the Hierophant here. King of Cups. Hanged Man. Absolutely. Look at you. Eight of Pentacles. Again. Okay. All the Four of Pentacles in this reading is saying this is kind of echoing, don't worry too much about it. You see, there's a Tower reversed. The Magician. Okay. Oh, wait. One more. Okay. We've got three. Okay. There's something you're diligently working on. We know that already. We talked about that. And you are very passionate about it. And you do see how it's going to be successful, which is why you're so excited about it. You're like, oh, I have this fabulous idea, which is why Spirit is trying to put the brakes a little on this because, when you're excited about something, you want to shout it to the universe. So, King of Cups, as soon as I said shout it to the universe, I thought in my head, which is the next card? And here's King of Cups. That's very apropos. That is, you know, keeping it's kind of like keeping a poker face, keeping things to yourself, not letting your emotions uh, sabotage you. You know, sometimes you can be a little overzealous about an idea that you're excited about, especially you want to tell your loved ones about your uh, your good fortune, your ideas and stuff. But spirit's like, mm-mm. You need to keep that to yourself for a while. Hangman talks about being watchful. And look at how it comes out here in the wedge line. Be watchful of this wedge because you're going to have quite a few wedges. It's not just one wedge, by the way. But Four of Pentacles is, be watchful, but don't be obsessive about it. Don't worry too much about it. Focus on your work. And that's well, so you have the Emperor here, the Hangman, and the Eight of Pentacles, which talks about, you know, the Emperor works on whatever he's working on, um, with confidence and with a sense of, security in his position and that kind of thing. Um, but an emperor always watches who's in his court, who his constituents are, who his enemies are, you know, no matter how good, even in peacetime, right? An emperor is always looking over his shoulder, is what this hangman is saying in this line here. You know, it's like go about what you're doing, but don't forget to, watch for, marauders at the gate, at the castle gate type of thing, or people who are infiltrating the court, spies and that kind of thing. Um, the Tower. So Knight of Cups is talking about something that's emotionally fulfilling, the thing that you're excited about, that you're moving towards. And be careful because if you're not careful, it can cause a problem for you. The Tower reversed here. And the reversal in this case, not always in every reading, but in this case, is talking about a potential tower. This is a tower that you can avoid. The Magician is all of the resources you have to implement your goals and, create this wonderful success that you know in your heart you can produce. Yeah, see? Ten of Swords. Reversed. This is the same message here as the Tower. This is potential betrayal that you can stop in its tracks before it even happens. So be watchful of the red flags and don't allow people, um, don't hand them a gun, don't allow them to get close enough to you or allow them into your castle to ravage it. Look at the High Priestess again. And I'm not even going to ask with the pendulum whether it's supposed to be reversed. It's supposed to be reversed, absolutely. Because this is spirit saying, be careful that you're um, not so wrapped up in your work and your excitement that you're not checking in with your intuition. It, Three of Swords. This is be careful again of betrayal. This is what's afoot here. So, but again, and the way I'm talking is very like, threatening and foreboding, like, be careful, dun dun dun. I don't mean to do that because don't, remember that the spirit is saying, don't make too big of a deal of it. Just be watchful. You'll be fine. Just don't forget to get carried away. So, messages from the universe. Okay. Are we done with tarot? Okay. Messages from the universe, please. Messages from the universe. What do we have? Comparing yourself to others keeps you stuck in a cycle of guilt and shame and continues to separate you from your blessings. It keeps you small. Understand that everyone has their own journey, which always unfolds in divine timing. Your time will come. Well, all of them, yeah. Okay. It's okay. This is a message for you on your path, unrelated to the wedge. Because the spirit is talking about the problems that you may have along the way. And actually, no, I take it back. That there are different types of wedges, too. Spirit is just telling me that, yes, initially, spirit is talking about actual flesh and blood people in your life who are, um, can sabotage you. But this is also about your own limiting beliefs and what you're focusing on and your own self sabotage and comparing yourself to others. That is another thing that can put a delay in your success. Things are going to be turned in your favor. People that were against you, wow. People that were against you all of a sudden will be for you. Ideas, creativity, promotion, and contracts are going to come into your hands. You see? Yeah, sure. You know, when things are going well, everyone's your friend, right? But now's an opportunity to see to separate the wheat from the chaff before you continue and get rid of the people that, don't support you. And spirit is going to make sure that High Priestess here, right? And the Justice card under here, along with your Hangman, it's all over the reading. You know, you're going to have downloads that is going to point towards who you need to walk away from. Because you most certainly do not want to have these people around when your banquet comes. They don't deserve to be at the banquet table. Every situation in life is temporary. So when life is good, make sure you enjoy and receive it fully. When life is not so good, remember that it will not last forever and the better days are on the way. Right? So of course, we all have some discouraging things that come along on our path. Some of those discouraging things may be the wedges in your life, but you'll get past it and you'll have plenty of help. If something is deep, if something deep within you tells you that something is not quite right, trust it, right? The eye rolling at the dinner table. If you thought you saw it, don't brush it away. You saw what you saw. Trust it. If you are unhappy in your life, change something. It is entirely up to you. Stop making excuses. You are in control of your own life. And stop making excuses for the roller at the table. Oh, maybe they weren't rolling their eyes at me. Maybe they were thinking of something else. Maybe they. Come on now. You saw what you saw, believe it, and act on it. Cultures, Ganesha, unicorns, Esther Hicks, Sonia, whispers of love. Okay. Whispers of love it is. Well, Okay. Top card. This one. Any more from this pile? What else we got here? Just these three. Okay. You got three whispers of love here. Choose love. You always have choice. Make yours with love. Something like this always comes up when I talk about people that you have to remove from your life. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. Wow. This has come out. Embrace your emotions. Allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. This has come out together quite a few times. And we're going to put this in the middle like this. Have patience and choose love. Both of these talk about the compassion you have for your enemies. And the Six of Pentacles comes out a lot. That's the merchant that's donating money to the beggars. And often Six of Pentacles in my readings means compassion to people who are doing unloving things. People who are not as evolved as you are. The other thing is having compassion for people who wrong you too, which is difficult to do. I'm not preaching like, oh, I do this so easily. I embrace the people who screw me, you know, who sabotage me and do wrong things to me. I love them. No, of course. And that's why you have embrace your emotions here. Allow your feelings to surface and be accepted, right? So, Spirit is saying you need to have compassion for these small minded people, but it's okay to feel how you feel about it too. It's not like no one's, expecting or asking you to stuff your anger down and unaddressed, you know. Having a wedge in your life, mice and snakes and foxes and people who, you know, don't have your best interests at heart can anger you. That's just a natural emotion. But it's how you act on that emotion that's important. Because the other thing is, you're receiving blessings now. You don't want to do anything that's going to taint your blessings or delay your blessings or reverse your blessings, right? Because you're moving through this portal here with a clean karmic slate. You don't want to have these small minded people uh, lead you to incurring karmic debt. They're not worth it. You have blessings coming. You don't have time to stoop to these people's level and get back at them and revenge and all that business. You know, they did that to me. They said that to me. I'll show them. I'll do this, that, or the other and get back at them. That's bad karma, right? And that can divert you away from your blessings. So make sure you keep your nose clean on the way through this portal. Because in that station I was talking about, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? You want to take a plane first class to Shangri-La? Or are you going to take a crowded, you know, freight train to a ghetto somewhere, into hell. It's your choice. Because if you incur karmic debt, you're not going to be going to Shangri-La. I can tell you that. It, it, you know, so just remember that. Find that if you don't have compassion in the moment, just be mindful and assess your every move. Really stop yourself and think about, what are my motives for saying or doing this? Am I doing this out of spite or anger? You know? And if you're having trouble with your anger, by the way, there are several angels, like maybe Hidraniel or Chamuel, are about love. But Pathiel is always helpful in this kind of situation where, you want to keep your karmic nose clean because Pathiel is like that proverbial angel on your shoulder, like the cliche devil and angel on your shoulder. And Pathiel is the angel, you know. You check in with Pathiel. Pathiel's the angel that's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. That's, he's helps you along your path so that you can get to your blessings. So the high priestess can include you having daily talks with Pathiel and like, okay, what's the game plan? And your spirit guides, obviously, too. And, you don't often hear uh, metaphysical people and tarot readers talking about Jesus, but, if you feel comfortable, what would Jesus do? Too, is a very good energy to work with. Turning the other cheek is very, very powerful. Someone does something to you, you have to protect yourself, of course, you know what I mean. But, you know, what are you going to do next? You're not going to be spiteful about it. Because again, I know I'm repeating myself, but just to be clear, just because you have a clean karmic slate now doesn't mean that you can't tarnish it. So be careful. Pisces, you've got a beautiful, beautiful reading. You have blessings, like an avalanche of blessings coming to you. So, congratulations, many blessings. Love, light, and many blessings. Talk to you soon.